Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to convert an old laptop power supply like this that you find at the thrift stores that have the laptop plugs like that, and convert it into a usable power supply with just your positive and negative leads that you can hook up to your wiper motors or whatever. So stay tuned.
I've got the power!
Hey guys, I'm going to show you today how to take old laptop power supplies like these that you get at the thrift store and convert them into something usable for your props for like wiper motors, and just make it so it's a 2-lead wire like this one here. So if you're like me, you like a deal, and I go to Goodwill all the time, and I always go through the electrical section looking for old laptop power supplies, and they're usually pretty abundant, pretty easy to come by. So I pick them up anytime I see them. What I always do, I'll show you on this one. I'll take a still shot and put it up, but I'm going to show you how. This may be new to you, it may not be, but anyway, this is all the tech information that you need to know. What you want to look for here is your DC output. This particular one has two different modes. It's got a 5 volt at 2 amp, and it's got a 12 volt at 2.2 amp. So that's a good one. This one here, kind of harder to read. I'll put a picture up. This is the one I'm going to be doing today. This one is a 15.6 volt output with 5 amps. Oops. So that's the one I want to use. Now, obviously, you want to be careful about your voltage and your amperage that you're using on props. My rule of thumb is if you're using anything, or if you're going to be powering anything that has some type of circuitry on it, I would consider buying the proper power supply for it. But if you're just going to run like a wiper motor, using a 15 volts will be fine. But we'll get into that till a little bit. But anyway, this one is 15.6 volts, like I said, and this will work just fine for what we are going to do. So first off, the other thing is how to read which wire is the hot one and the positive. I'll put the picture back up here. It's right up here in the corner. It tells you which one's the hot one and which one's your negative. So first off, where's my cutters at? Sorry about that. All right. First off, we're going to cut off the end here. Maybe. Just like that. All right. So we don't need that anymore. And I'm going to come back probably a couple inches here and strip it down to the first layer. Normally I'd use wire strippers, but my wire strippers suck. So, and I want to be careful. I don't want to get through the insulation of the next wire below it, because it's going to be a wire with insulation, then the other wire wrapped around it. So you want to be kind of careful. So what I do is I take a razor blade and I very lightly, I'm not even hardly even pushing on it, but I just roll the wire like that. We get through. We'll see if we got through. Let's see what we get here. There we go. And let's work it around. There we are. Now if I can use some muscles, I can pull this part off. There we go. Alright, so there's the first layer that we got. And it looks like, yeah, this is just going to be a 2-wire. Well, I call it a 2-wire. Sometimes there is a third, what would appear to be wire on the outside. And that's usually just like, what do you call it? Shielding. That it doesn't carry any type of current. By the way, I am by no means any type of electrician. This is 100% a Honor hack. 100%. Okay. So, there we go. So that is, based on our, looking at the diagram, the outer is usually the negative. And in this case, that holds true. Okay. Hope I'm keeping this in the shot. I'm going to twist it up so all these ends don't get all frayed out. I pick up these power supplies. They're usually, I've found them as cheap as $1, as much as $2.95. I think if you buy a new one, they're probably like 20 bucks. You get them from like Fright Props or something. All right, now I want to strip the second layer, but what I want to do is I want my insulation to stop. Before where we make the connection to our wires. That doesn't make sense right now probably, but basically I'm probably going to solder right about here on this wire, okay? So if my soldering stops on my negative wire here, I want my insulation to continue on up to at least here. So that is where I'm going to strip them. Like I said, my wire strippers are garbage. I've had them forever and I refuse to buy new ones. Actually, I think I have another pair around here, but I don't know who they are. This is riveting. Watching me strip wires. Come on, are you kidding me? There we go. Okay. All right. So, there we go. So now we got our positive and negative. Obviously, you're not doing this with this thing plugged in, obviously. So that's what we got here. So I'm going to solder my negative wire down here somewhere. Let me get a rabbit wire. This will make sense. This will be my negative. So when the I want my insulation to stop down here. You see how I got this much area here? You see that much area here between the exposed wire here and the exposed wire up here, where there's insulation on both wires, because that's important. Keeping everything insulated. So I'm going to pause this right here, come back, because I got to plug in my soldering iron. All right, so I got my soldering iron going. So obviously I'm not going to strip this or solder this much wire. When I do my soldering, obviously it's going to get hot. So I want to start my soldering. I want to do my soldering right about there between the two wires. So I'm going to go ahead, and that is short of that. So I'm going to go ahead, where my cutters go, and cut that off right there. Okay. So let me strip this. All right. Look at that. Out. Black wire. What is this? 18 gauge? 16 gauge. 16 gauge black wire is what I'm using. Like I said, I am by no means an electrician. I'm sure somebody out there is going to be pulling their hair out, calling me the biggest dumbass for doing this the way I'm doing it. And that's okay. I'm used to that. Come on. I've got to find those other wire strippers. Okay, so when I do my soldering, I gotta keep getting this in the shot here. It's gonna be right about there. And you see how that black up here, those don't touch? Okay. So we're going to do that. Boy, I'm not gonna tell you how to solder. If you're doing this, I'm assuming you probably already know a little bit about soldering. So what I like to do is twist the wires together as best I can. There we go, like so, to get them nice and straight. Help if I had one of those things that has the magnifying glass and the little pincher things on there. I don't have one of those. So, let's see. I think I'm using my wrong one. 25. What? What's my other one? No, that's the right one. Normally I would put flux on it. It makes the solder flow better on the wire, but it is 42 degrees in my garage, and that stuff is hard as a brick, so I'm not going to worry about that. So, how's it going, guys? Everybody getting ready? This is actually going to be this is a start of a prop that I'm going to be building, and instead of putting this whole segment in the tutorial, I'm just going to make a link to it, because this could be kind of boring and some people don't want to watch all this, so come on. Alright, I finally got it soldered. I had to go back to a smaller diameter solder to get it to work, because it's just, I guess, too cold. Now, don't laugh at my soldering job there, but it'll get the job done. So, you see how this is what I keep talking about, which is important. See how much insulation there is between the two wires where the connection is going to be? That's just something you want to keep in mind. So, okay. I'll trim this one down here a little bit, probably right about there. And get some red wire. Because I like to use mine just like I normally would. Black for negative, red for positive. Cut these guys off right there. Okay. And we strip red wire down a little bit. Dang. Seriously, if anybody wants to buy me a pair of wire strippers for my birthday, I would be indebted to you. Look how much time it would save if I had a good pair of wire strippers. Okay. Same thing. Twist these two wires together as well as I can. And man, that breeze is cold. Shouldn't complain. This is 40 something. These people are negative. Alright, so we're going to solder this one. We may cut away again. We'll see how this goes. Now, let me show you this real quick up close. You see that? Oops, there it goes. That's how I got them twisted together. And that's my crap solder job. That's okay. Good enough. Good enough. Yeah. I'll do just fine. Alright. So check this out. See where the connections are? See how they're nowhere near each other? That's what you want. So now all I got left is take some heat shrink, or some shrink tube. Do the black one first. Here's a little piece I had left over. You get shrink tube at like Harbor Freight, it's cheap. Radio Shacks, not cheap. Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those places. Okay. I'll slide that all the way in. Okay. I don't have my heat gun out. Normally I just do it with well, maybe I'll get my heat gun out. It's right here. Oh, probably better. Anyway. There we go. This. Oh shit. Careful where you put your soldering iron. Don't put it on another wire. I think I just melted another power supply. Let me see. Ah, not too bad. I have my soldering iron sitting on it. We'll put some electrical tape on. It'll be fine. Be fine. Alright, what are we doing? Shrink tube. Now, shrink tube, you want to be careful because you definitely don't want to melt the insulation on the wiring. Shrink, baby, shrink. And don't burn the hair off the top of your hands. There we go. Okay. Another little piece. Put it on the red one. I don't put the shrink tube on the wire first, because as you're soldering, there's a chance you'll melt your shrink tube before you ever get the soldering done, and then you've got a chunk of shrink tube stuck to the wire. Shrink, baby. Yeah, you want to. This side. Okay, so we got that, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to cover the whole thing, because you see I still got a little bit of that ground wire exposed there, so I'm going to do it to there. Take my 2 wires. Okay. Sometimes if you do this too quick, the other shrink tube is still warm, or the wire is still warm, and the heat from that might start shrinking it as you're trying to slide it on. There we go. I do not want it on high. I love shrink tube, it's fun. I use the crap out of it. This side. Fuck it. I'm putting it on high anyway. It's faster. Move your other pieces of shrink tube out of the way before you do it, like I just did not do. Because I started melting that piece. Alright, that should do it. See that? All insulated now. Now's the moment of truth. I never even plugged in this power supply to even see if it worked. So, strip it in there. Strip it in there. That. Where'd my black one go? Do that. This out of the way. And let's do this. Come on. Okay. That. Got my multimeter. Assuming you have one of these. If you don't, I'm sorry. Okay. So, I make these wires up. Little alligator clips. Negative. So negative. You see that? There you go. And then we go. Positive. 2. Positive, where to go? There. And let's plug it in. Hope it doesn't smoke. It's a good sign. Turn this on. And there you go. Remember how we said this was a 15.6 volt power supply? There you go. 15.6. So there you have it. That's all there is to it. It's not too bad. Just going from an end like that to some usable ends here. Now what I would normally do would be put an insulated an insulated female end. Let me see if I got some. Let me look real quick. All right, sorry about that. Okay, I didn't have any insulated female ends, but I had insulated male ends. You see that there? How it's got the spade on it? And it's insulated. So I'd put that, whatever's on your hot side, I would put the insulated on that one, and then whatever you're plugging into, if it's, you know, a wiper motor or whatever, then you know, use the corresponding end on it to go to your motors. So I would, I'll just crimp those guys on there like that, and there you go. I hope this is helpful. It may be something that many people already know, but you might not. So anyway, hope you enjoy this, guys. I hope this is helpful. And so now I have a power supply to do my next prop, which is going to consist of 2 different motors. I'm going to try one more thing. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Before we leave, it's something I wanted to try. I ordered these a month ago or so. It's a PWM, a pulse width modulator, and all it is a speed control. And I ordered 2 of them. You see them on different Halloween prop sites for like 20 bucks. You can buy them all day long on eBay for $6, free shipping. So what I want to do is I want to hook this thing up. You see that? It's got your positive and negative, and then it goes to your motor, positive and negative. Okay? So let me unplug the power supply here. And which one's? Okay. Power. This side's power. So just go here. Just kind of half-assing this real quick. What I'm curious is if this thing will drop the voltage, or if it, or you know, basically, you know, because it's a speed control. So I'm wondering how it's controlling the speed, if it's changing the voltage or something else. But we're gonna find out here real quick. Okay, so all right. So we got our little speed control here, and can you see that? Does that show up? How about now? That's better. Okay. All right, so let's turn this baby back on. Okay. And let me get a reading. This is our power size, so it should still say 15.6, which it does. And let me look. Okay. Output is 15.61, so I'm wondering if when I turn it, does drop in the voltage. It doesn't drop it very much. So I was hoping that it would, like, as you turn it, it would drop it from like 15 volts down to 12 volts, but that is not the case. So it must do it by current. So anyway, that answers my question. So there you go, guys. Hope this helps, and I hope this isn't too long of a video, but it'll save you a few dollars. So stay tuned, and this is going to be the start of our next prop, which I'm excited about. And yeah, catch you on the next one, guys. See ya. Radio